Hey everybody, and welcome to Alan's Bonsai. So today I'm going to work on a few more Premna that need some work. Plus they just dropped a tremendous amount of leaves in the cold snap that we had in January. Today's the 15th of February 2024, but it only got down in the low 40s. But man, they sure did, I don't say suffer, because they're all still perfectly healthy, but man, they sure did drop a lot of leaves. Of course, I guess that's good because then you can see the structure of the tree. So it's basically just a matter of cutting things back, cutting things off. Now this guy is really low, so even though he's a sacrifice branch, he's in the front, we'll keep him for now. I just did that to him so we can see a little better. And then we have just a classic flaw in bonsai, and that is two parallel branches, virtually the same size, going out virtually the same distance, and that just draws your eye away from the rest of the tree. Your eyes get stuck there. So as a design flaw, parallel branches are a huge no-no. So we have this branch here that's also a bar branch with this, and that's another no-no. So then it's plainly obvious that this guy needs to come off. So then we have branch here, and then the other branch here. And this one needs to be shortened tremendously. And this little bit of growth right here is also part of that branch. Then we're going to shorten this back branch, shorten this branch, and shorten the apex. And shorten this branch. And where are we now here? Well, we got a tree with only 2 leaves left. But Premna are tough trees and they'll sprout out in no time at all. This branch is a little bit heavy, and actually we have another branch behind it. This guy right here could be wired into place and take the place of that heavy branch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take that off completely and bring him into place like that. And it's got a decent form, and now you just have to imagine that it's all going to grow out and be real pretty. And that will happen now that it's, I live at the very northern border of Zone 10 in the US, so it's spring, even though it's the 15th of February. Spring is here. So let me get a little bit of wire and just wire that one little branch. That will be the end of it for this guy. I use a lot of the clip and grow method, so I don't wire a lot. But sometimes it's just essential to get branches into the place that you want them. And depending on the tree and other things, a lot of people have the philosophy of wire everything. Of course, there's not much of everything on this tree left. But it's still got good potential. It will grow and fill in really in no time now that it's warming up, and little fertilizer and keep it well watered, it'll pop out in no time. So that's number 1. Tree number 2 is a little taller, but just as wild and just as rangy. And if we look at the infrastructure on this tree, I don't know why I say infrastructure, it sounds like I'm building a road or something, but we could probably use to wire this guy up. And this branch here is really kind of crazy. Now we've got this branch here too, But I'm going to take this one off, this thick one, and then wire this guy down into position. And I think we've got some dead right there. Cut this guy back a little bit. First main branch. And this is a parallel branch to this guy, so we don't even need him. Actually, I'm going to cut it as a stub, and perhaps we'll get some growth in the back as a back branch, because you see right now we don't really even have a back branch. And then I'm going to bring this guy, I think I'm going to wire this guy down and not cut it so far back. And then this guy here is going to be the apex. So I'm going to shorten this one and shorten this one. And then shorten this guy. Actually, there's a tiny little bit of growth right there. So I'm going to cut it to right there. And then we've got some dead that needs to be removed. Is that dead? I think it might be. Best way to tell is to scrape the bark, and if it's green underneath, it's alive. And if it ain't green, it ain't alive. And that ain't alive. Leave that guy for now. Okay, so now I'm going to need to wire this guy down into here, and this guy down into here, and you know, I'm holding the pot at quite an angle, so when I go like this, it's shooting way towards you, so the whole tree needs to be brought a little more upright. And you want your tree to sort of bend towards you, but not like that. So I'm going to wire the whole thing. And now you may notice here and here and here, these three scars, that was hail damage that we had from the hailstorm in April of 2023. It really did a number on a lot of trees. Didn't really hurt this guy all that much. And those scars are healing. And you know, maybe some scars like that will actually add to the impression of age of a tree. So now we need to wire that guy. Box of goodies here. So is that enough of a length? Probably. So this part of the trunk that I'm wiring right now doesn't need to be bent forward from about right here going forward. I'm going to turn it so it's towards me. That's the easiest way to wire, is to have the branch facing you. And then you don't want to crush any of the auxiliary branches. And of course this isn't the branch, this is the main trunk. But I still want it facing me. It's just easier to figure out where the wire is going. And now we're getting to the top. This wire is now really too thick, but we can continue on. Okay, so now maybe I should do it this way. So we're going to bring it up. Bring it up. Make sure that you've got your thumbs and your fingers at the place where you're bending the branch, so that if you feel it cracking, you can stop. So that's not bad. Okay, so now let's take a look at it from here. You know, bringing this down and bringing this guy down. And I want to get rid of, oops, drop the scissors. That's dead anyway, so he comes off. And then the apex probably needs to be somewhere about there. So these two branches that I'm going to wire can be wired with the same piece. Because you can go in the middle. If I can find a piece of wire. I'm using old wire because I'm too cheap. should work. It's long enough. So I start in the middle, and this may be actually too long, but that's okay too. If you've ever watched me wire with a piece of wire that's too long, I just leave the excess length just sticking out because I don't really want to cut it off. I also unwind my wire to save it. So that one looks good there. Bring this guy around here. Wire this guy into place. And that was just about right for him. Okay, so where are we here? Let's bring him down a little bit and bring him down a little bit too. Okay, don't look at that part. That looks pretty good. This branch is actually pretty decent. It's got the angle is just about right. Could the apex come up a tiny bit? Oh, I think for now we're just going to leave it. So there's another skeleton tree. That will end up being a pretty nice tree once it's filled out. You know, I'm a huge proponent of space between the branches. So there is number 2. And see if I can get number 3 in before my battery goes berserk. Well, I'm not going to get a third tree in this video. So I'm going to end this video right here. And if you like what I did to these trees, or if you're horrified what I did to these trees, leave a comment. And if you like the video, even if you dislike what I did to the tree, please give me a thumbs up. And these trees are going to develop. They're healthy. They just look, well, they don't look horrible. They just don't have any leaves. And know your material. You never do this with like a juniper, you just kill it. But Premna are just tough plants. This thing's going to sprout back out, especially now that we've got some warmth. So it'll be sprouting in no time. So if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll be able to see the progress of these guys as I load more videos once they've progressed to that point. And so that's it for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.